Okay. So, as you're all aware, the blueprint for Maryland's future became law in 2021 after the state legislature overrode Governor Hogan's veto of the law. The blueprint offers us just that, a blueprint for a world-class system of public education for all students in Maryland. Over the past 7 years, Governor Hogan consistently imposed obstacles that delayed the implementation of the landmark legislation. This included vetoing the law after its historic passage, vetoing measures to raise revenue, and excluding funds slated to go to some of the state's most underfunded schools in Baltimore City and Prince George's County in the 2023 budget. Meanwhile, a report commissioned by Strong Schools Maryland shows that our state will begin to see a return on our investment a year earlier, with the total fiscal benefits outweighing blueprint costs 3 years earlier than originally projected. As a result, Maryland will graduate more students prepared for high-paying careers or college, attract new and expanding businesses to Maryland, and increase state revenue as a whole. Which leads us to our first question for our candidates. The blueprint contains myriad once-in-a-generation education reforms that improve outcomes for students, educators, families, and communities. In your opinion, what is the blueprint lacking? And how would you fill in those gaps as governor? And Mr. King, your time starts now.
Thanks so much. Grateful to be for the opportunity to be here. Look, I was a kid whose life was saved by public schools. That's what led me to become a teacher, a principal, to serve as Secretary of Education for President Obama. I was proud to be a part of the coalition of civil rights groups, the Maryland Alliance for Racial Equity in Education, that worked to help shape the blueprint and to advocate for its passage and the veto override. But I think it's important that we see the blueprint as the floor, not the ceiling, for our investment in our kids. There are a number of things that I would build on top of the blueprint. We should accelerate the increase in teacher salaries and get to a $60,000 starting salary in 2023. We should raise the pay for education support professionals, paraprofessionals. We should invest in universal pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds throughout the state, as well as universal affordable childcare, birth through 2. We need more investment in school counselors and mental health services. We need to build on top of the blueprint with an effort to make sure we recruit and retain a diverse educator workforce, investing particularly in our HBCUs and our community colleges as a state as pipelines for diverse teachers. We need a statewide tutoring corps to respond to the impact that COVID and the disruptions of COVID have had on our kids, not just academically, but socio-emotionally. And there's an opportunity with a statewide tutoring corps to get mentors for students who will help to support them. And we need a governor who's committed to actually funding the blueprint long-term. And I've been the one candidate willing to talk about revenue long-term. We have to ask the folks who make millions of dollars a year and the large corporations in the state to pay their fair share so that we can fund the blueprint over the long term. And we need capital investment alongside the blueprint to address the issues around air conditioning and heat in the winter that are such an obstacle in the city.